Hi, everybody. It's Chantel Miranda, and we're ready for another episode. I can't believe today I started on time, and I kind of just put everything together, and I thought, I'm just going to trust it, let it go, and it worked well. I think when you less stress about things actually happen. When the more you stress, the more energy that you put into whatever it is, everything just goes everywhere. Anyway, look, today I've got an amazing girl coming in. We're just waiting for her. She's still stuck in traffic, so I'm going to wait for Amy Hanson. So she is an amazing worker. She does so many things. If you have ever heard of past life regression, this is the girl that you need to talk to. But not only that, she is very talented in many other ways. She's very gifted in her own ways. So I'm not going to say much because I want her to actually introduce herself and talk a bit about where she works, where she holds her workshops, and how it all started for Amy. Um, I'm just wondering, can you hear me? I know there's one person at the moment watching. Hello, one person. It's probably me. Anyway, look, I am so happy to be back here. A lot of people are asking me what I do and what I talk about. To be quite honest, my platform is all about advertising yourself. It's about anything that it's got to do with relations with, if you're a healer, Reiki, if you're a medium, if you're a psychic medium, if you just enjoy doing tarot readings, card reading, anything that's got to do spiritual, this is all about that. If you're holding a marketplace or an event, this is all about that. So this platform is mainly to advertise and educate people who don't understand what you do, what we do. So when they're out there looking for guidance or they need a quick answer, yes or no, they know exactly who they can then see or reach out to. From my experiences as a medium, I have had a lot of people who just come and they want a quick reading. All right, let's just say they want a yes or no or wait. But I'm there sitting trying to connect with their loved ones and they didn't want medium. So that's where I brought this up. I thought, some people out there don't know the differences. They're not very in tune or educated about how some services work, how we're meant to be working, or what we do. So introducing ourselves as healers, as workers, exactly specify what you do, it can actually break it down for people to have a better understanding. For example, another example I had, someone didn't want to connect with someone on the other side because they were scared. Now, that's fair enough. You don't need to be open. You can also, not ready for it yet. That's fair enough. So when I said, look, I've got a mail coming through and I started going, she just burst out into tears. She said, I wasn't expecting this. This is overwhelming. I said, do you want me to stop? She said, no. I just thought that you were just going to read cards. And I thought, hang on, didn't you read my website on what I do? But I wasn't rude or anything. I was very delicate about it because obviously she was quite, she was going through a lot of emotions. So there was a lot of grieving going through, but she needed just a quick answer again. Something about moving overseas. Now, for me, it was like, okay, had she known that a medium will connect with spirit and we can also do that, then I wouldn't have wasted all our time, her time, in trying to connect with the boyfriend that actually he committed suicide. So she didn't want to talk to him yet. She wasn't ready. She was actually wanting to move forward. So doing this platform of a quick chat. I do say a quick chat because I don't like going on forever. Just get to the point. What do you do? Where can we find you? But I'm also intrigued of how and people work. So if you go on my YouTube channel, you will see all the people that I have interviewed so far, and you can follow them as well. Listen to what they do, where you can find them. We're here based in Queensland. Now, Queensland's pretty big, but most of us also can do readings over the internet. So these days you can do Zoom reading. You can do email reading, right? Now, I'm not only here just doing my own little podcast as well. I also work for Psychic Australia International TV. Well, it's Psychic TV Australia. Sorry, they've changed it to international, but it's still Australia. So it's Psychic TV International. Now I love them. They're like a family to me. I got to meet them all. And when I say all, there's a lot of us that do phone readings as well, and we are live. We will be going live again. They've already started it. They are going to do, I think they're editing the first four, the first four, I think, or six they did live with people, obviously. And what they're doing is they're editing a few things before it goes live in Foxtel. So Aurora is actually the producers who are holding it. So it's Aurora at Foxtel. I'm not sure what date yet or what time, but if you stay tuned in or follow me on Facebook or YouTube, you will see then when it's going to go live. I haven't gone yet to Sydney to the studio, but they're programming so that we can all have that opportunity. And being here in Brisbane, look, I'm ready. I thought at first, no, I'll be fine. But now I'm really looking forward to it. So I work for Psychic TV International, and my PIN number there is 9103, or you can just go through all the mediums that are there. I also work at Chameleon New Age Salon, which is located at the Gold Coast, or Surfers Paradise. Now, the owner there, the guys are amazing. You got Bronnie and her husband, Ken. Can I just say Ken? She's going to tell me off. I call him Kedron, and she says he's not a suburb. It's Karen. There we go. I got it right, Karen. They are amazing. It's a family business. So they've got downstairs, if you've ever been there, please put your thumbs up. Downstairs is all, it's right at the back, there's a hairdressing. Most of the girls there and guys who are hairdressers, they're also healers. One of them is a really amazing artist, which is Marco. Then you've got Mark, who does tarot cards. Then you've got, a few other people there that do their own little gigs. They also sell crystals. So if you're looking for, a crystal that accommodates you with what you want or what you need, the girls know everything about crystals. So you can approach any of the girls, especially a reception. They're amazing, the girls there. As you go upstairs, it's a little swirl upstairs. You will go into a cafe, and it's amazing. It's all organic stuff. Now, I'm not a big fan of organic. I mean, I am, but I'm not, because sometimes some things don't taste nice. This cafe changed me completely. I bloody love their coffee every morning. It's got some kind of, I'll have to ask Amy what's it called. It's like a mushroom with me. Oh, it's just amazing. As you're heading down, you will see that there is a reader's room. That is my room where you can find me. But you also have another reader there that works the day. So I'm not there. I'm only there on Thursdays. Her name is Emma. Wonderful reader as well. So if you do go to Chameleon New Age and you want a reading with me at the Gold Coast, I'm available there every Thursdays from 10 to 4 p.m. You can go on my website, which is scrolling down, www.cmediumship.com, and just press the Gold Coast. It will automatically take you to Chameleon New Age Salon, where you can make your booking. I also do, I haven't done a lot of events at the moment, like little market events, but I am doing big events. So this on the 3rd of December, and I really hope you can join me. Your support will be amazing. I'll be at the Gold Coast between 12 and 2 at Chameleon doing an educational workshop about medium and what it takes to be a medium. So if you're feeling drawn to things that you feel that you are a medium, come to one of these workshops, and I will teach you the differences between the energies and what it takes to become a medium. Because really anyone can, when you really understand a lot about energy. It's really important that you understand about your chakras. And when I do my workshops, I also like to do hands-on. So we go in groups and we do a bit of psychic, intuitive reading before we start. And then we start doing a bit of mediumship reading and understanding and what you see. Then you'll be followed on by myself doing a reading for you. So I'll do each and one of you a live reading, and you'll see how I do it. I also like going to, and I do a lot of work for families. I do work, as you can see, I work in the outback. I haven't been to the outback for a while. I normally travel, when I did travel, I should say, with the Psychic Expo team, Connie Gold, who I hope she does get back and does it. I'm not sure. I haven't caught up with her yet. But she actually goes all the way there to the outback and does a lot of mediumship. Well, she takes her own little psychic event there. And yeah, so I do work with a lot of the Indigenous and family in the community doing psychic medium, and it's beautiful. And like I said to you earlier, I'm now doing more live events where I'll be performing in entertainment centres. My first one will be at the Whit Sunday, so I'm so excited. So get your tickets if you are looking or following me from up that end. All right, guys, I will now. I feel that we've got little Amy here now. I can see her on backstage, ready to rock and roll. And here she is. Everybody put your hands together for Miss Amy. Yay.
Hello.
How are you? You made it.
I did make it. Traffic.
Friday. Everyone's desperate to go home and have a little, relaxing time for the weekend. How are you going, Amy?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, really, really good. Just super busy, but really good.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me today. This means a lot, everyone that comes here, I just love them. For me, it's important to just bring people that not just for me, but who I have seen them work, and I have seen you work, and you're fucking, I can't swear, but I just did. You're fucking amazing. I know.
Thank you. You did it twice.
I did. I just said that, and then I did it again. All right, that's just me. I won't do the third one. And I know you're very busy, so thank you so much for joining me. And look, for those who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself. We know you're Amy.
Yep, I'm Amy. So I am from Brisbane. I'm a mother of 4. I've got 4 wonderful kids. But what I love is actually the witchcraft side of things, because I believe witchcraft is a spirituality. It's a way of living. It's the essence of who one is. And nature, walking with nature. I've always been, since I was a little girl, very drawn to nature. But also I'm a past life regression hypnotherapist. And that is something that's very dear to my heart ever since I was little as well. And my obsession with Egypt, and from the time when I used to ask my dad to take me back to my other mum and dad. And,
what do you mean other mum and
I've
dad?
always been, yeah. So when I was about 4 years old, I'd ask my mum and dad, ask my dad to, when am I going to see my other mum and dad back in Egypt? When am I going to go home? And I would draw hieroglyphics and, talk about the ancient cities, and very, very
and
drawn
how old
to
were
Egypt.
you when this happened?
About 4 years old, and I was very, very lucky that my dad never shut it down. He was very nurturing and was like, okay, well, tell me about it. Let's explore this. Let me, talk to you and show you some stuff on Egypt. And every time I've seen something on Egypt, it always felt like home. And then when I went back there, as soon as my feet touched the ground, it was like, yeah, I'm home. And I walked into places where I knew I'd been before, that I knew felt really familiar, and the journey and traveling down the Nile, and being at the Temple of Isis in the original position and things like that. It was just a place where I felt at one, and I was just very lucky that it was never shut down by my parents, and I was able to explore that further and keep that going later on in life.
That's such a blessing, Amy, that your parents really nurtured you, because that is so important. What would you say to parents out there who they feel their kids, because there is a fine line between mental health and when someone's like, yep, you're an old soul, you've been here before. Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely.
What would you say to those parents who their kids or they're going through something similar, who are listening to this?
one thing I can really, I can't say enough, is allow children to imagine, allow them to be, allow them to speak their truth, allow them to know and listen to their own intuition, that wrong and right within, and not shut that down. Allow, get rid of the mobile phones and everything out, and put them into nature where they're they're able to explore a very natural way of oh, I think you disappeared. Well, I'm going to keep talking anyway because I'm a talker. So I would, yeah, just allow parents just to keep nurturing that, and really, be at one. The most important thing for I think as parents to do is teach kids how to be connected to not only themselves but to the earth, to the spiritual realms, to get rid of all the borders and the all the restrictions and the disconnection from everything, and allow children just to be at one. And yeah, so I am so yeah, I'm very, very passionate about that, especially nurturing kids and allowing their imagination to take place. And I just kept talking, Chantel, so
I was listening. I was on backstage. I gave you the privilege to step on. Yeah. Because it's interesting, and I don't want people seeing me going, So I'm like, no, it's really good, because you said you've got 4 kids. How do you go with that? Do any of your children follow this, have this, or what would you?
Absolutely. My son, when he was born, I actually knew that he was my father from a past life. And I was actually told by a psychic medium like yourself that he would come into my life and he would be here to teach me patience. And with that, I had to remind him, and I still remind him to this day, that I'm the mother in this life and that he is the child. And so I've still got to remind him.
Do you accidentally say, "Hey, Dad, what are we having for dinner? Dad, can we have takeaway?" And they go, "I mean, son."
Yeah, if only he'd pay. But he's one where, when I am stressed, in times within my life where I felt like very very lost, or felt not right, he is the first one that will come up and just put his arms around me, and he'll go, "It's okay, everything will be okay, let's sort it out." And it's like, okay, but I'm the mum in this life.
How old is he?
He's 21 now.
And what's his name?
He's Jacob.
You're a good boy, Jacob.
I know, he is a good boy.
Oh, that's a really big blessing, darling, that you understand that connection. And the other, just going back to something that you said, I am all there and witchery. Can you explain to us what that is, please, in full? Because a lot of people freak out. They go, "Oh no, I don't do that witchery stuff. I don't do that. I don't want to do that." And I'm like, okay, why? So explain to us, and I am going to put you first, so I'm not disappearing, okay, so people can pay more attention to you. Okay, so what is it? Can you explain it to us?
So witchcraft is a spirituality. It is the essence of who one is. It's about walking your truth, speaking your truth. It is about being connected to nature. It is not part of the universe. You are the universe. So with witchcraft, it is essentially just a way of living, and it's about, so when I was little, I was very drawn to the stars. I was very drawn to nature. I'd strip my clothes off and climb trees and know the tree spirits would be looking after me. I knew that when I would make a wish, if I put my energy into something, it would come true. And for all those that believe that witchcraft is that they've never done some sort of witchcraft or spell casting or anything, if you have ever blown a candle out on a cake, there you go. If you've made a wish on a star, or you've got a little dandelion and you've made a wish there we go, witchcraft. If you've celebrated Christmas, Easter, you know, all these pagan holidays throughout the year, they are all essentially from the essence of the foundations of what witchcraft represents.
Wow, that's lovely put, because you're right. Like blowing a candle, you're making a
Yeah,
wish to come true.
absolutely.
And you're right
Absolutely.
there. And I never saw it like that. I thought I saw it more like a
Yeah,
manifestation. But
it's
you're right.
candle magic.
Okay, I love it. Yes, I do a lot of candle art. I call it ceremony.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. And at what age did you say that you started feeling this? Well, you said that you were 4 years old when you knew you wanted to go to your other mummy and daddy.
Yep.
And you didn't know exactly what it was, but you were drawing all these pyramids. You knew, like at age 4, who does that? You know, would that be an old soul,
So
do you reckon?
I was lucky. I was born on Friday the 13th. My mother was born
Oh!
on Friday the 13th. Yes. So we've got a long line of, I believe, witches. But I was, like I said, I was never shut down by my father. I was very lucky to have a father that would, you know, help me connect in with the Egyptian gods and the Roman gods and the Greek gods and the tree spirits. Like whenever, and I had an auntie down in Grafton that I remember going, she was suffering from cancer at the time, and we would you know, go and, you know, dig up the dandelion and juice the dandelion root,
Oh,
and you
wow.
know, we would,
Yeah.
and even with animals, you know, we would find a way of, you know, the beauty in a death in an animal that was dead. We would do a ceremony to you know, bless that animal for its time on earth, and, you know, yeah, and bury it and do a ceremony within that. So like I said, I'd always be the one wishing on a star or climbing up the
Yeah.
trees or hanging upside down, and knowing that I'd always be
You
right.
know what? I don't know why that doesn't surprise me of you, Amy. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
can
know.
see it even now. Like you're 100 and something and still doing that.
Yep, absolutely.
The other thing I was going to ask you, Amy, is that you said that something about everything that you have done. So you've done the witchcraft, and you understand how it works. And I love the way you put it out there, how it's done. Because a lot of
Yep.
people are misled saying that it's all evil stuff, that you do things
Yeah.
and it's voodoo and all these, you know, things. So the way you've put it out there, that's really good. I really am, you know, drawn to it, like interested to know more. Now, I also read that you do workshops on witchery. Is that correct?
I do lots of workshops. So I'm very lucky to be part of a coven in Brisbane that I've been part of for 8 years. I created it back in 2014, and before that, I was part of a women's only coven, which was a great learning curve, which I really enjoyed as well. But I've always been very drawn to you know, manifestation, ceremony, especially when it comes to, you know, working with nature and the
Yeah,
elements, and knowing that where I place my energy is what I create.
that's amazing. And can I ask you something? Have you seen that unfold for you, where you can actually say, you know, when you manifest something and then it you feel it, correct? You feel it, you live
Absolutely.
that little moment. And when it actually unfolds and it happens, do you go crazy, or do you just go, I know? Or what's your
I
reaction
know.
there?
I know. No, well,
Yeah, we don't
well,
go
like I
crazy,
said,
do we? Yeah.
I know where you place your energy is what you create. Where you place your mind is what you become. And when you've got a healthy mindset, where, you know, no matter what happens to you, no matter what obstacles happen to you within life, every step, every second, every moment has brought you to exactly where you are today. And instead of looking at it as, oh, woe is me, you know, poor me,
Oh,
blah blah
yeah.
blah blah, I look at it as what did I learn from this? How can I
Mm.
evolve from this? How can I learn? How can I release the emotion that is attached to this to not self-sabotage my future? You know, we can't change the past. Everything's a learning curve, and if we can get off that merry-go-round and actually walk along a path where, you know, we are growing and in the spiral of transformation, I think is a huge growth, you know. Our life, we're all responsible for our own happiness. Our life is our responsibility to live and to walk and to write our own story. And you know what? I've got a bloody great life.
Mm-hmm.
I am so blessed with what I do. I'm very picky and choosy where I place my energy. I'm picky and choosy what I choose to do, because I know my time is valuable, my energy is valuable, I am valuable. Those that are around me, I cherish, and I know where to set boundaries where I need to set them, and I know when to say yes when I need to say yes, and no when I need to say no. And most importantly, I speak my truth, I walk my truth, and I honor and I love who I am. And you know, when you've got the when you can love being the highest vibration, if you can walk a path where, you know, at the end of your life, and I've seen this through when I've done regressions, at the end of my life, if I can say, you know what, I've lived with no regret, I've lived a learning where I've not, you know, sat back and said, shit, I wish I had have done that. I've done everything that I've ever wanted to do, and you know, it's just a bonus for me. It's just, you know, a cherry on top for me at the moment.
Good on you. I love that energy. That's exactly right. And, you know, part of the things that I teach as well, I say, your past is what got you here today. If you didn't have your past, you wouldn't know who you are
Absolutely.
today. And I always also include that
Exactly.
I say to people, you're like a vase. You start off as a ball, a clay, put on to a spinning wheel, right? And what happens when you're getting
Yep.
developed? Shit goes everywhere, right? As you're getting developed, splat,
Absolutely.
splat, splat. And I go, that's your life, baby. And then what happens right at the end? The universe has made an amazing, strong vase where people admire, right? And
Absolutely.
that's how I describe it. I go, so be ready for that roller coaster ride, because it's what's going to make you strong. And I'm glad you see it like that
Yep.
too. Now, you said, and what can you explain to us? A lot of people don't understand what past life regression is. Let's get into that.
Okay, so past life regression is what I'm really passionate about, because so many people hold on to so much
Mm.
residue from the past, even through timeline trauma, through DNA trauma, through you know, past life trauma. So what I do is, through hypnotherapy, I take them through the years that they've lived within this life. I take them through to being within the womb, to that moment where they've chosen their mother and father, to the point where they've you know, decided what lessons they need to learn within this life, to the point of then going back into a past life memory. And we look at past life memory because we look at residue that we've held onto during those lives, whether it's traits, whether it's you know, fears, phobias, and things like that, that we cannot figure out why this is happening within this life. And we go back and we explore those moments, and we do the clearing and the resetting that we need to do to then make us really take, you know, reclaim who we are, step within our power, and reclaim those parts of our soul that, you know, have been weighed down by that energy. I've I've done probably about over 1,000 past life regressions, and every single one is unique. Every single one is empowering, and every single one is where someone has stood up and said, you know what, I'm not going to pass this energy on to the next generation. I am going to end this cycle that you know, that's been passed down through bloodlines, through past life, through you know, stored emotions that's held within the blood, within the body, within our DNA. And I'm going to be brave and you know, very courageous to not pass that on to the next generation. So I'm very, very passionate about those just really taking ownership for their lives and stepping up and going, you know what, I am me, and I am powerful, and I'm ready.
That's bloody amazing. I love that. And
Yeah,
how many, when you do a past life progression, it sounds like it's really obviously deep. That's not a 20-minute
yeah,
session. That would no way cover in an hour. How long does it
yeah.
take?
It takes a couple of hours. I've had ones that have lasted up to 4 or 5 hours. It all depends how quickly someone can drop into the hypnosis. If if I've got ones where, pretty much as soon as I put the mask on, they're straight in there. But I always allow spirit to actually take us on the journey. Sometimes they've got, one little message to give that person that very next step to, that they need to take within this life. Or they may get a huge download and get lots of pieces to the puzzle, and they may even, bring pieces of that puzzle together to show, a little bit more information. But I always say to every single regression that we go into, let's allow spirit to give you exactly what you need today. That will help you in your life right here, right now, whether it's that first step or a lot of information. So yeah, I
Wow,
leave it to
sounds really
spirit.
deep. I can
Yeah, it
imagine
is
there's a
deep.
lot of emotion, like people just bursting out
Oh,
crying. Is that like,
absolutely.
do you, from someone
Absolutely.
that wants this, what do you suggest prior in going in to get this kind of healing?
Yep.
Do they need to prepare themselves emotionally or anything? What?
If you're not a visual person, I would suggest maybe doing weekly meditations. It's always good for people to do daily meditations. Chuck on a YouTube meditation and just sit with that and be with it, because it's exercising that pineal gland within the mind, within your third eye. And the more you do it, the more powerful it becomes, and the more that you'll be able to drop into a meditation a lot more easier. Like I said before, your mind is your greatest tool, and if you've got a healthy mind, everything else will take fold and flow on from there. Um, so I always encourage people, if they find it hard to relax or to stop thinking, to do daily meditations. And once you've been able to sit with that, yeah, book in for a past life regression with me. It does take a couple of hours.
Mm,
But like I said, it is a journey of reliving the past, because what we do is we delve into the darkness,
mm.
into our subconscious, and we bring the knowledge and the wisdom to the light. And when we do that, we bring awareness to the situation. And with that comes the healing, comes the release. And that's where the power is.
So this would be really good for people who are constantly, I would say, feeling that all these patterns are happening in their lives, and they question
Yeah,
themselves, like, why does this happen to me? Why every time I'm trying to change, I get the same relationship, I fall into this chain? And you feel maybe they could do with some healing, because maybe they are unconsciously going to the same pattern that in their past life it was just that they didn't finish something. Do you know what I mean? Like there is something they didn't
yeah.
finish in their past life. They are doing it again. Do you know? Is that how it works?
Absolutely. I've got people that, that in this life they're very fearful of water, or
Mm-hmm. Mm.
and they've got no memory of being ever, drowning or anything within this life. Or they might be fearful of a horse, or being left, or they might have a strong connection to a certain person that might be an unhealthy person.
Mm.
And we look at okay, as to why. Let's go in and we look at the connections with our soul family, and connections to past life, as to why they may be feeling that fear, phobia, anxiety. Like, for instance, I had one lady, let me tell you this story. I had one
Okay.
lady that this life, she could never, she never actually had a friend. Like she always felt alone, always felt very excluded from everything. And home was never home. Like she said, I always felt like I was moving around
Yeah.
everywhere. Anyway, she came into me and she goes, I'd like to have a regression. And when we went through the process, she actually went off up into the astral realms, the heavens. And she looked back and she's like, I don't ever want to go back there. Oh my God, get me away from those humans like this. And it's like, okay,
Wow.
let's have a look.
Okay.
Yes. She was like, oh, they're just not listening. They're not listening. They're so disconnected. They're so, she was going on about what was happening in everyday life. Like, how there was this struggle of good and evil on earth. And
Is she having this conversation while you're doing her the treatment?
Absolutely.
Like a full-on
Absolutely.
conversation. Oh my God, that is so cool.
Absolutely. So they're the ones the person is the one in control. I put nothing into their head. They're the ones, we delve into their subconscious, and I just ask questions. And anyway, she's like, we went up to the spiritual realms and we were talking to a spirit guide and all that. And we went into why she chose this life and why she came down. She said, I was coming down to help humans to actually raise their vibration and, be able to, do some earth healing and things like that within this space. Anyway, she said, but I feel so alone. I feel like I'm fighting this battle on my own.
Wow.
Anyway, she's like, when it was time to come back, I said, are you ready? And she said, no, I don't want to go back. and I said, okay, yeah. And I said, okay,
what have you done, Amy?
It was actually really cool. And I said to her, okay, look, well, let's ask your spirit guide. She named her spirit guide, and she, we connected really strongly with this energy. And I said, well, what does your spirit guide say? And she turned around and she said, well, if you don't, you've got to come back and relive the 43 years you've already lived. And she's like, oh, fuck that. She's like, no way. No way, I'm not doing that again. And I said, well, let's ask your spirit guide how we can make your time here on Earth,
more pleasant.
More pleasant. And he actually turned around and said that you need to go out into nature, a bushwalk once a month, somewhere where there is waterfalls, and you need to wear a crystal. And I think it was a citrine crystal, just by memory. Nice. This is a couple of years ago, a citrine crystal. Anyway, and anyway, and he said, the spirit guide said, and then everything will fall into place from there. You will know. Anyway, lo and behold, she came back down and she's like, okay, I've got to go into nature. I'm going to dedicate, a month, 1 weekend a month to go and do up to Springbrook, I think it is. Beautiful. The Twin Falls. Yeah, she said she didn't live far from there and she was going to do this walk. Anyway, about 6 weeks later, she did her first bushwalk, and she came into me and she's like, she came into Chameleon and she's like, Amy, is it Amy here? And I'm like, yeah, I was there. And it's like, hi, how you going? How you feeling, with everything that, you went through over the last couple of weeks? And she said, I found a friggin' friend. And I went, what?
What?
And she said, I was walking up in Springbrook and I was wearing my citrine crystal. And right at that point, I was looking out and I'm thinking, okay, I was, just about to sit down for a meditation, and there was this other lady there that was standing there that had the same citrine crystal, and they were like just on their own. And she said, for the first time in my life, I actually looked and I said, that's a really nice necklace. And they got talking. And she said, yeah, and she said, I've actually got a friend. We exchanged numbers. We're actually going to meet up next month and do the walk again.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and now they're like, and I think it was about 12 months later, she sent me a message and she said, you know, we're actually, you know, doing, you know, just working, doing meditations, and we've got like a little posse now that do it. And it's like,
I love it. A little
oh my
posse to do that
God,
is
I know.
amazing. I love
Yeah. And she,
spirits.
I know. And she said that for
Oh,
the first time in her life, she hasn't felt alone. She felt like there was others that were wanting to, you know, do what she was doing.
oh my God.
Yeah, it was
That
very,
is
very special.
beautiful. It is.
Yeah,
That is a testimony on itself. Like, wow. I mean,
I
bloody hell, that's
know.
awesome.
I know.
Hey, if anyone
Yep.
wanted, I'm just going to quickly say, if anyone wants to ask Amy any questions in relations to what we're talking about, please jump on and ask. You know, past life regressions, witchery. She enjoys doing all that. Because I've got a few people asking, what can they ask? So I'm just putting it out there. They
Yeah,
can
ask
ask
away.
anything, and we'll just pop it up, and then you can answer it. But for the time being, Amy, where can we find you? How can
You
people
can
book you?
you can book me through Chameleon New Age Salon down on Surface Paradise, down on the Gold Coast. I'm down there a few days a week. Yeah, so any questions, or you can go to my Instagram or Facebook, Mystical Realms Australia, and send me a message there as well. I actually don't get on Facebook as much anymore, but yeah, if you get onto Instagram, I will go on there and check it every now and again. So yeah, but
So
definitely make an
where is
appointment.
Chameleon so people know where you're at?
Yeah, it's right in Surface. It's right in Surface. It's a beautiful little shop. We're doing some renovations there at the moment, and
And what
giving
days
it
are you there? So people can just ring up and make a booking. Can they make a booking
yeah,
online
yeah.
too?
Yeah,
Right.
booking online. So Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, some Saturdays. Yeah, yeah, it's like my second home down there. So yeah, if
I
you've got
know.
any questions, just shoot me a message there.
She's amazing. She works behind me, or I work behind her when we do the
Yeah,
readings. I send a
we
lot of
do.
people out there go, you do have issues. Go and see Amy past life. I've got a question here. I don't know if you can see it from Alicia.
Yep.
I would love to know
How
how to see timelines. Thank you. Do you understand that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I do, I actually do this a lot in my Thursday night meditations at Chameleon. So what I do is I put when I do it with a one-on-one client, I put them through relaxation for about 20 minutes, and then just allow yourself just to stop and be. Remove all the distractions around you. You know, set the scene, to create a circle, a safe spot to just stop and be. Do some breath work. And then what I do is I visualize myself breathing energy into my third eye, allowing my third eye to expand out into a protective sphere that is surrounding me, that is being held by my spirit guides, my loved ones, my ancestors, that are holding that sacred space, to allow myself to surrender. And then what I do is I visualize myself standing there, and I visualize myself, or I get the person to visualize their years that they've lived in chronicle order behind them. Every second, every step, every moment, all the happiness, the sadness, the turning points within life. And then I get them to visualize their future, and what all their dreams, aspirations, everything that they want to achieve within this life. And then I get them to look down at their feet and notice the future and the past and the future connect right where you are, the present moment, which is the most important moment of all. And then when I get them to connect in with a moment, with their timeline, I then get them to face their past, and then I get the client to move 1 year at a time, counting down that time into down that chronicle order. And then I just tell the client, okay, when they want to stop, we stop. And and they will say, okay, when I'm counting down from 27, 26, 25, getting younger and younger, so on and so on. And we go back to a time, and if I get to like 10 years old, they'll say stop, and we step off that timeline and we go into a memory. And with that memory, like I said, I always believe spirit gives us guides us on what we need to hear, right now, that will help us in our current life. And a lot of it is where we've got a memory that is created by an event that's happened, that has created an emotion within our life, that has created, traits that have connected into our personality, our temperament, later on in life into, trust issues, into depression, into anxiety, and even into suicide and things like that, all from these events that have happened on our timeline. And what we do is we go back into that timeline and we sit within that moment, and I get the adult self to connect in with that, that moment in time, whatever age that is, that event actually took place. And we sit there and have the conversation. We sit there and we do the healing. We sit there and we ask each other questions. And, what does the child have to say to your adult self? What does the adult have to say to your child self? If we're dealing with a perpetrator or someone, for an outside influence that has, done something within this event, we sit there and we face that. And that's when we actually reclaim those parts of our soul that, and we rip out those claws that have been, dug into us, that have weighed us down, that have put in these self-sabotaging traits, that have questioned our self-worth, questioned who we are, that, have, stopped us from actually living our best life. And we go in there and we release that, because once we've done that awareness with that, that's where the power happens. But that's where the key is to actually releasing that and to healing that, and knowing that, you are worthy, and, releasing that energy so then you can live your best life without self-sabotaging what you're here to do.
That's amazing. I hope this
Yeah.
helps you, Alicia, because I really enjoyed listening to that full-on energy. It's very powerful. It's all about energy. I would most probably also, I don't know, Amy, if you would agree with me or not, get people to understand their chakras as well before they get to, maybe this stage as well, because they're energies, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Your chakras are like little vacuums, and most people don't reach they don't go any higher than their heart chakra, because of, again, events that have triggered, all these stored emotions within the body. And our base chakra is all connected with the foundations of what we build ourselves upon. It is connected with our beliefs. It is connected with our security. It is the first chakra that is actually activated the minute we are born. When the baby is born, and the baby has that survival instinct of crying to be fed, or crying to be nurtured. And that, when that is not, nurtured and loved as a child, then it does become polluted. And then the next one is when we're finding ourselves, our sacral chakra, where we're exploring our connections to other people, and then so on and so on. So I know that, especially as women, we hold so much energy within our womb, and a lot of women hold trauma within that energy. But it's a place of rebirth. It is a place of creation. It is a place of motivation. It is a place of sensuality. And I always even say to women, even when you're and men as well, even when you finish with a partner and your timelines have gone on to separate timelines, stop and actually do the healing, because that energy is still within that, and cut those cords before you start a new one. So yeah, your chakras are so important, just to balance those out, but most importantly, realign them and touch base with self every now and again.
She's asked one more question here. How do you manifest your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm a big believer your mind is your greatest tool. Where you place your energy is what you create. So if you're wanting something, where you place your energy is what you create. Okay, so if I wanted happiness within my life, I know I'm responsible for my happiness, and I know I need to feed that. Okay, down to my mind, my attitude, with who I have within my circle, because we all have that, those people that come into our life where it's like that draining energy. But if you're sitting there, being pulled into that, and the gossip and the negative thoughts and the mindset and everything, you're not feeding that thought of manifestation. But if I want something, I know no matter what, I could get it. It all depends. But I'm like I said, if I want something, I know I could create it. Like if I wanted to, go to the moon, I know if I was determined enough, I could. And that's why I'm very picky and choosy on where I place my energy, because I know that, and you do have to be careful what you wish for as well, because I've
I
done
was
it in
going to say
magical
that
working.
that is a
Oh
true
yeah,
say.
oh
That
yeah,
is such a true say.
absolutely.
And be very careful how,
Yep,
look, I learned to do, I know I'm not being egoish here, but I learned to do a list, because I kept forgetting
yeah,
when I was manifesting little details that would trigger me. I don't smoke. Okay. So I know when I
yep,
was triggering my little man here, the previous one would smoke and had habits that I forgot that I couldn't stand it. So this time I
yep.
made sure non-smoker, but da, and I got exactly that. So yes, that saying is so true to its point. Be careful what you wish for.
Absolutely. I know. Even with my partner Sam, like it was funny a couple of years ago, I actually manifested everything I wanted in a
Mm.
partner, even down to the point
Yeah.
where he is not to snore, and he
I
doesn't
forgot
snore.
that part. I forgot. It's too late. I love
Yeah.
him to bits now, but I forgot because
Yep.
I'm a snorer, and I don't complain
Yep.
because I sleep with myself. So if they hear me, they can, whatever. They were my kids. They've all moved out now. They're all grown
Yep.
ups, and apparently I'm a snorer. So because I didn't hear myself, that's one detail I didn't
Yep.
do. He
Yep.
snores
Yep. No, I
till
put
the
that
roof
in
goes
there.
up and then comes back down, and I'm like, fuck. Either he's gotten better because he did have a heart condition, which really scared me. He's got a stent now in his heart. Either
Yep.
that helped him with the snoring a bit, or I'm used to it
Yep.
that I don't hear it anymore. One or the other. Whatever it is, I don't know. But yeah, good on you. So you got him
Yep.
not to snore. What about any other little habits as
I
well?
know.
Far out.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
absolutely. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, I don't negotiate either. Like, but I always do it where I harm no one. And
Yeah.
wherever I point my finger, I've always got three fingers pointing back at me. So I know that if I can live, every day I wake up knowing, just thinking that I've just got to be better than what I was yesterday, and I do. I just, life's here to be lived. Don't live
Absolutely.
within the past or allow the past to you know sabotage your future. Like,
Or
be in the
hold you back
moment.
that you can't move forward.
Yeah,
It's only a
absolutely.
process of you learning who you're going to become at the end, right?
Absolutely. I'm still wondering what I'm going to be when I grow up.
Me too. I thought I wanted to be a fire engine or a policewoman, but I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
I think I want to be a dental nurse now.
Yep. Oh, lovely.
No,
Nice.
I am happy exactly where I am right now, and I know that every
Yeah.
day, like you say, different things happen, and
Yeah.
I don't stress anymore about what's going to happen. I just go,
No. No.
I've foreseen it. I've foreseen it already. What's going to happen? It's about trusting now, right?
Absolutely. The ebb and the flow, trusting the journey.
Yep. And let it go, because a lot of people say, yeah, but I did ask for it and it's still not happening. Your energy is pushing it away. We're energy. Just
Absolutely.
the universe
Absolutely.
knows.
Yep.
What about, do you
Definitely.
do cards, Amy? Do you read cards at all if people just want to see you
I
for
don't
a
really
quick?
do cards.
Mm.
I don't really do cards. I do runes, but I don't have my runes with me. I do love runes.
Oh, no, just asking
I
if
don't
people wanted
even.
other readings,
Yeah,
if they wanted to see you.
I do love numerology. But I do love. Yeah, I love my runes. I love my runes.
I've never had one of those readings. I might come and see
Haven't you?
you.
Oh,
I'm definitely going to
yeah.
come
I'll
and
teach
see
you how to do
you.
it.
No,
Yeah,
I want
come
you
and
to
have a
do me a
regression with
reading.
me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
Yep.
want to do. Now, my darling, we're nearly at the end. I want you to please tell people, what are you doing on the 3rd of December? I believe you've got an
So on
event
the
coming.
I do. I've got the on the 3rd of December. We've got a event happening at Chameleon New Age Salon where we create a protection witches ball, a witches ball that you get to take home, create, and hang on your Christmas tree. So to us pagans, it is not Christmas. But as we got kids and everything, we've got to be a little bit flexible. It is actually coming up to Litha, so the summer solstice. But we are creating a protection witches ball where any negative energies that may be surrounding your home, it will be captured within this little ball so it doesn't disrupt your Christmas. So yeah, that's
Wow,
happening on the
lovely.
3rd.
Because we do have a lot of people sometimes gathering with family members, and there's a lot of mixed energy there. So that
Oh
little ball will
yeah.
be very powerful.
It would be a great idea if you've got a negative Nancy in your family. It's a perfect
Uh-huh.
gift idea.
Uh-huh. And what time?
I think it's 10:30 on the 3rd of December at Chameleon New Age Salon.
And on that same date, after you, beautiful lady, it's my workshop.
It is your workshop.
My
Tell us about your
workshop.
workshop.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I already did actually in the beginning. So, look, if you want to come to our workshop, so you've got Amy, who will be doing the witch ball for Christmas. It's all got to do with taking negative energy with and around. And she'll also teach you a lot about things, how to work, magic. And for me, at 12 to 2, I'll be talking about what it takes to be a medium, the differences between spirit energy, the lady Enora next to you energy, and your own energy, because we are three different energies. And just understanding the different energy when you feel spirit, when you feel the girl next to you, to your own energy. Because if you are opening up to that source of understanding spirit, right, you become overwhelmed, and you become,
Yeah.
you go through this overwhelm, um, uh, what do you want to call it, sad story life, whatever you want to, that's negative, and it's not. Once you understand you are going through the process of what you're going to become, so your emotions are doing this, it's because you're feeling your friend's energy when she's in the shits, or she had a shit day the day before, your energy's involved, and then you got spirit trying to knock on the door for you. So you're like confused what's going on, and all that becomes overwhelming. And that's when I talk about chakras, where we say your sacred chakra is blocked. It's turned into a big ball. Instead of spinning evenly and rhythmically with all your other chakras, it's doing this. So that's
Yeah.
what I will be talking about. So we can define the differences between
Awesome.
also a psychic and a medium, because a lot of people want to see,
Yes.
just the people that they loved who have crossed over, and the differences. And then I'm going to do a live reading. So if you want to join us,
Awesome.
yeah, that's my workshop. So I also am at Chameleon New Age every Thursday. So if you want a booking just for mediumship, that's what I do. I love talking to our deceased that come and give their thoughts and love to you guys. And then we've got the beautiful Amy. Am I pointing the right way? Yeah, to
Yep.
you. Yeah, that
Yep.
way. Amy, who works, what days do you work at Chameleon New Age? And we also got your own website.
Yep. Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and some Saturdays. Mostly
Okay.
workshops on a Saturday.
Beautiful. So you can find Amy at Chameleon New Age Salon at the Gold Coast. You can also find her by just going into her Mystical Realm Australia by Amy. And then this is her website right down the bottom. Is that correct, darling?
Yep, that's correct.
www Mystical, yep, realmysticaustralia.com. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for joining us today.
That's okay. Thanks for having me.
Thanking you. And I'm going to put this podcast, so if you want to, I'll link you to it, YouTube as well. So you can have a little look later on if you want. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Our beautiful Amy was amazing. Please do, make an appointment. Honestly, she's wonderful. Everyone that I bring into my little I'll start again, to my little talk show has a magical essence about them. I highly recommend, if you want to know why things are happening in your life and things are going upside down, inside out, and you're not understanding, make a booking with Amy. She'll take you through that journey, the past life of regression, and work with you and walk with you along that journey. So you're not going to ever be alone while she's doing it with you. Other than that, thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Next week, I've got Rhonda from Rhonda Ocean, where she does all these amazing events around Australia. I will see you next week at the same time, same place. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye, Amy.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. See ya.